Welcome. I'm just referring to few political statements made by Christian leaders. There is someone called Kanwal Bakshi. He was referring himself as United Christian Front leader. He made a statement in 2026. He clearly opposed scheduled caste status to Dalit Christians. He claims himself that he is United Christian Front leader. Kanwal Bakshi, in 2026, he made a statement that he is opposing this is scheduled caste status to Dalit Christians. And there is someone called government legal representatives. They claim themselves as the Solicitor Generals. They, in 2023, they opposed implementation of Mishra Commission, Rangnath Mishra Commission, to include Dalit Christians and their suggestions, whatever. There are many Christian leaders who are part of Bharatiya Janata Party. There's nothing wrong if you are part of Bharatiya Janata Party. You should be able to carry the problems of Christians to Bharatiya Janata Party instead of carrying Bharatiya Janata Party mission to the Christians. Or at least you should be able to balance both. You should be able to bring a balance, the mission of Bharatiya Janata Party to Christian community, or the Christian problems to Bharatiya Janata Party. If you're doing both, at least some 50% justified. If you are being part of a member of Bharatiya Janata Party and carrying the problems of Christians to the party, and then you are doing good job. But you are not at all carrying the problems of Christians to the Bharatiya Janata Party, but you are only carrying the vision and the activities of Bharatiya Janata Party to Christian community, and then you are cheating the Christian community. You should remember that. All these political parties who are, all the Christian leaders who are part of Bharatiya Janata Party should be able to either balance or represent the community. But carrying the party to the community is not good. Only doing that. And I have seen few statements from the church institutional statements like Syro Malabar Commission kind of people, 2025. They also opposed. They say that giving a Christian quota to the Dalit Christians are not acceptable. Something like they are opposing that. So that is actually issue. So why I referred this now, why I am referring all this now is, here fundamentally I don't understand, first of all, why they are opposing Dalit Christians scheduled caste status. The Christian community, members of the Christian community, they are opposing scheduled caste status, reservation status to Christians. Who is opposing? Not Hindutva groups. It's a Christian organizations, and Christian people are opposing that. The fundamental single line what they say is that there is no caste in Christianity. Okay, here two practical problems. There are two. So forget about one problem is internal casteism, casteism within Christianity. Let's talk about this later. Casteism outside Christianity. Outside Christianity is nothing but its society, right? Indian society. There's a casteism in Indian society and casteism within the church. These two problems, if we understand these two, let's talk about casteism within the church later. Today, let us talk about casteism outside the church, in the society, Indian society. You know that there was casteism outside the society, and why these Christian leaders are arguing, are opposing the scheduled caste status to Dalit Christians, I don't understand. They say that there is no casteism in the church. If there is no casteism in the church, then what about outside the church? Are you becoming bodyguards? Are the church leaders, Christian leaders, are you becoming the bodyguards to your church members outside the society? Wherever they go, are you going with them? Are you protecting them from caste, glitch from outside, caste abuse from outside? You are not, right? Once church is over, you are somewhere and they are somewhere, and they are facing Christian caste discrimination in the society. Then how can you oppose that being a Christian leader? This one kind of problem I identified it. They say there's no casteism in the church, in Christianity. Simply, you cannot boast about yourself when the problem is happening from outside. Somewhere like someone is driving on the road, someone is driving, your church member is driving on the highway, and all your church members are good drivers. Ignoring the vehicles that are coming opposite, you cannot boast about your the driving skill of your church members or the training skill of your church. Ignoring the vehicles coming opposite, you cannot promote helmetless driving. You cannot ask them, our church members don't need helmets because they're good drivers and we give them a good training of driving, but you are ignoring the people who are coming opposite. If they are bad drivers, they'll hit your church member, right? It will not save you. So even though you are good driver, even though your church is good training, giving a good training how to drive, keeping in view of the opposite vehicles, you should promote helmet to your members. Same like, you may not have church feel, you may not have caste feeling within the church. You may be good members within the church, keeping the society abuse outside. You should support or promote the protection for the members of your community. How can you oppose the government protection for scheduled caste members being the Christian leaders? So surprising for me after reading these statements from these people. If these leaders keep doing this, of course I am ignoring the aspect that even there is a caste feeling within the church. That let us talk about this later. But in this, I'm only talking about the outside abuse. These Christian leaders, there were allegations. Obviously, people will get doubt why these Christian leaders, they're denying the caste existence. Why? There are many forward Christians, they dominate in appointing bishops, synod authority, church education institutions dominated by the forward Christians, hospitals and NGO administrations are owned by forward caste Christians, property and land ownership is held by forward caste Christians. Because you are the gainer and you are promoting casteless within the church. Of course, there is casteless within the church. That's what I said. You may be good, your member may be good in driving, but what if the opposite vehicle is coming bad driving, and then? So maybe to retain your monopoly in seminars, colleges, jobs, clergy positions, maybe you are suppressing them in the name of there is no caste in Christianity. Why can't we understand this? If we continue to do this, the Christian leaders, and we may understand in this way that to retain their power as bishops and clergies, they're suppressing these lower community members and they're arguing that there's no caste in Christianity. Why can't we understand in this way? And you say that no caste in Christianity to block SC status in courts and commissions. Unfortunately, many Christians are blocking this SC status to, Christians are blocking SC status to Dalit Christians. And they're claiming that there's no caste in Christianity. The many Christians are giving opposite statements in Supreme Court, to the national commissions, to union government. They're telling to the union government, national commissions and Supreme Court, claiming themselves they are the representatives of Christians, and they're giving statements that we don't need reservations to scheduled caste, and scheduled caste members should tell that. And what capacity and what right the forward caste people give a statement on behalf of scheduled caste. A scheduled caste member, if he says that I don't need reservations, and then that's a different thing. And you are forward caste converted Christians, on behalf of Dalit Christians who are facing abuse outside, you are giving statements to the National Commission, Supreme Court and the Government of India that we don't need reservations. And why should you tell that? They are supposed to tell that. So Dalit Christians are supposed to tell, not forward Christians. But they're giving statements to the Union Commission and National Commission and all these commissions appointed by the Government of India. Okay, so somewhere that's what you said, that casteism is absent in Christianity. You know that still there is separate churches for Dalits, you know that. the practicalities that still churches are divided by caste, separate burial grounds even for Christians. Dalit Christian priests are rarely appointed and all the forward Christians are being appointed. Social discrimination continues outside how forcefully it is being continued outside. Same force it is being implemented within the church. In most of the churches, of course, rare godly like Christian organizations and godly like churches, we are ignoring that, but they are truly godly and then they don't show any caste discrimination. That's a different case. But in majority, most of the times, there is a caste discrimination within the church. So when you know that the problem is there, and you should be able to support the agony of these Dalit Christians who are asking for scheduled caste status to Dalit Christians. And you should not make anti-statements with the National Commission, Union Ministry and misguide them. So unfortunate that after reading these statements, and you are erasing the Dalit history in the name of, we should not talk about caste in the churches. You don't talk caste in the churches, but allow them to talk outside the church. You don't talk about caste within the church. Don't talk about caste within the Christian community. But if they go outside, they need protection from the same caste abuse. So you should allow them to talk outside the church. And if you are so much of understanding, if you are so honest, you should be able to allow them to speak even within the church, the abuse which they are facing, so that you may be able to help them better. But you are suppressing them, not allowing them to talk about caste issues within the church. When there is a problem, it may be caste, religion, creed, whatever, you should be able to allow the members to talk on that if they are facing the problem. So maybe these people restricting them not to talk caste in the church and saying that there is no caste in the, there is no caste in the Bible, there is no caste in the church. These are the theories which they are talking about it. Okay. Remember that the Bible always talks good. Bible always talks about non-violence. Bible always talks about many things. But still we are going to police stations. We are going to advocates. Why? There's no police stations and advocates in the Bible, right? Then why are you going to advocates and police stations? Why are you going to collectorate offices and MLAs and MPs houses? There's no MLAs and MPs in the Bible, right? Same way like, these are the social needs. Reservation is also one of the social need. So, these Christians should not make anti-statements with the government and misguide the government. This is what I want to say, that forward Christian elites, they publicly claiming that equality, but we know that in practice they are segregating themselves. They say we all are brothers and sisters, but in reality Dalit Christians sit separately in some churches. They separate, the cemetery sections are common. The caste surnames continues even after the conversion. Pastor, Bishop, Reverend, Sharma, so these kind of names are being continued even after conversion. Inter-caste marriages are blocked within the church, and you are marrying your own caste members, and the church festivals segregating duties for Dalits. And when you know that these kind of practical problems are there, why to pretend equality and why to practice caste internally and avoid untouchability? Talk about avoid untouchability, and then ultimately what you are doing is you are blocking the government protections to Dalit Christians. That's the biggest problem. If you accept there is a casteism, okay, I'll give them protection, that's a different case. Neither you are helping them nor you are blocking both. That's most dangerous. Allowing the problem and denying the medicine is most dangerous. Either make sure that there is no disease, or at least you know that we cannot prevent the disease, give them medicine. What you are doing is you are making sure that they get diseased and blocking the medicine. These two are dangerous. That's what actually the forward caste converted Christians are doing, who are opposing scheduled caste status to Dalit Christians. Unfortunately, they're influencing the government not to give scheduled caste status to Dalit Christians. These forward Christian, most of the forward Christian organizations and all these people, they're very favorable to Bharatiya Janata Party, and some of them are members of Rashtriya Seva Samiti, RSS also, they are members Christians. They're blocking, so that making sure that these Dalit Christians may not get scheduled caste status. And we know that initially what happened then, even during the Congress in early stages, most of them are forward caste Christians, and then they blocked it. It happened both in UPA government, and now it's happening in NDA government. In both governments it's happening. No caste in Christianity, it will help RSS and Bharatiya Janata Party, Vishwa Hindu Parishad. These argument, no caste in Christianity, will help them. It will not help the members who are actually facing the problem. So Dalit Christians, you making them silenced within the church, but again you will not give them priesthood, you will not make them parish committees, and you will not make them members of the committee, and you will do so many things again. So this is not right. So what are these people who are made the statements in the paper, and then we are opposing, we don't have caste in the church and all? I don't think so. This is not right thing. You should be humanitarian, understand the practical problem, and help the members of the community. That's what finally I want to say, that keeping the society in mind, keeping the drivers who are coming opposite, and when you know that the many accidents are reported on the highway. If there are no accidents reported on the highway, that's a different case. You know that many accidents are being reported on the highway. You give helmet to your son, and you will force your son to put helmet, and then you go, because you want to save your son. Then why you are not forcing more than you're opposing helmet? Like that's a SC status to Dalit Christians. Then if you use your own son and your own daughter, they're going on highway, you know that there were good drivers, but you force them to put helmet for what? Because you don't have trust on opposite members who is driving. But then why this discrimination here on this Dalit Christians? So let us not be discriminative, hypocrite. Let's help this downtrodden society to come out and to get the government protection they need. All Dalit Christians needed government protection from this abuse. Thank you. Namaskar.